From the Club of Rome to the Club of Accra, 60 years old. I do have the singular honor of inviting the Director General of WTO, who just came in time to deliver her remarks. Should we go ahead and play the video instead? Since you're here. Okay. She had given us a video just in case she was going to be late, but since we have her in person, we might as well.
Thank you so much. I think my video may be better than me at this stage. Excellencies, but I just came from an event with the Premier of China where he made an announcement about their willingness to reform at WTO by renouncing access to special and differential treatment. I know it's very geeky, but what it means is that China is really saying it's not going to be struggling with the other developing countries to have access to special treatment at the WTO. And this had been a big bone of contention for our reform, and they just announced that. So I'm a little breathless. So forgive me. But Excellencies, President Mahama, President Olusegun Obasanjo, I don't know if he's here, co-conveners of the Accra Reset. I see many dignitaries, heads of state, Excellencies. It's an honor to be here in such illustrious company to address new and long-standing challenges to development, including health security for people around the world. And I kind of feel that my brother, Dr. Tedros, should be the one up here talking, but let me start. I want to start by congratulating the co-conveners for this great initiative. It's exciting. We all know that global health financing is under enormous pressure. Development assistance for health this year will be 14 to 29% financing. For traditional donors, supporting these areas is a matter of longer-term self-interest. It's not about helping others. It's in their self-interest to finance these things. But we should also think about creative mechanisms for developing countries to contribute proportionate to their means. As Director General of the WTO, I want to point to 3 ways in which trade matters, because many people say, what on earth is trade doing with health financing? But it matters for the health reset and for the Club of Accra's wider workability agenda. In Africa, for Africans, might help push back against the dangerous rise of vaccine skepticism that we see increasing online and in social media. Whether we think of it as a reset or a repositioning, the time to act is now. And that's why I'm excited about this initiative. So let me conclude, Excellencies, by saying we wish you the best. We're here to support you. We want you to succeed. And this could not be more timely. Thank you.
So now that the case has been made for the need for a reset, I'd like to invite a distinguished panel. Given that she's a very prolific speaker. So Winnie, you've heard that the case has been made for a reset. Is it microphone? Yeah. Yeah. Microphone in the back, excuse me. Right over here. There you go. Okay. So the case has been made for why we need a reset. And given where you sit at UNAIDS, you have a helicopter view of what has happened before. And all the things that we cannot carry post-2030. Can you paint a picture of us as to what is on your mind with regards to what post-20 could look like and what we should be doing?
Thank you for putting me on the spot. I want to say first, Excellencies, distinguished gentlemen and ladies here, it's an honor to be here. I start by congratulating President Mahama on the Accra reset. And the case is made, as you've said. And, I mean, during COVID, strangled by debt, paying back debt, are not paying for our people's health, and that today 2 out of 3 countries are paying more, several times more, to debt repayments than to the health. Of tiered pricing that enables today someone in Ouagadougou to have the same pills to stay alive as someone in New York. That system of tiered pricing, of making generics, is there. But it isn't guaranteed for every new innovation which comes. We need to move it in. We took services, prevention, treatment, diagnostics out of hospitals into communities around the world. In their communities, deliver services to themselves in dignity, putting communities at the sectors of government together to give people health. Those are the 3 I think we must take forward.
Brilliant. We had originally reserved this seat for a political person because we wanted a multilateral political and government. I forgot that Whitney is also political, so she spoke well to address the 2 issues. Since you mentioned global governance, and it's clear that you cannot have a global system working when a local system is not working, because the global system is an amalgamation of the local governance systems that are working. I always tell people that you can integrate 55 countries in Africa if you can integrate departments, ministries, and agencies within one country. So, Minister, Ghana clearly is one of the pace setters in leading this discussion or thought leadership around a governance of a reimagined global architecture. That has happened. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The bitter way during the COVID pandemic, we want to avoid a situation where a country will determine when we get vaccines in Ghana. So this is what the reset means. But you see, in all this, it makes sense to the Kenyan in Kisimu, the Togolese in Lome, the Ghanaian in Wa, when that person has quality health care. Finito. That has, and health has been the largest, the most dependent on global aid. How do you, what's your vision and what do you see from the helicopter view where you sit that we should be doing to forge the kind of partnerships necessary to make this reset work? Because it certainly cannot be business as usual.
Yeah, thank you. I think my 2 fellow panelists have said many of the key things. Even when you talk about partnership, I don't think it will, be seen from the angles that the minister had said, and also what Winnie said. Organization and opportunity to change. So the partnership should also be shaped by new thinking. But something that has to be at the center, whether it's partnership or other things, is what our continent needs. It's a mindset issue. I really enjoyed the video earlier. It's about mindset. I think we need to have a can-do attitude. We need to have an attitude of self-reliance. To be honest, it's time. So for whatever we want to achieve, we aspire to achieve, or for the partnership to succeed, I think what is important is, first, the honest reflection ourselves and clean our problem. And second, the change of mindset we expect also from partners, which is, as I said, we need the equal terms. Otherwise, I don't think we need the aid, actually, for instance.
Well, thank you so much on that very inspiring but hopeful note. Dr. Winnie, Dr. Tedros, and Honorable Minister of Health of that. We do have President Obasanjo in our midst now, so we can bring our podium back. And we'll proceed now into the solidarity messages ahead of the keynote. I must also acknowledge that this partnership is a co-creation partnership. So we have foreign ministers of Brazil, India that have joined virtually. We have Prime Minister Kenya's clearly, we were not able to sustain the gains that have been made. So, Baba, I would like to invite you to lead a round of solidarity messages by telling us why, at your very young age, you are still very hopeful that there is chance for us post-2030.
President Mahama, I understand you have done part of my job before I came in. Thank you very much. You are a good brother. You've always been like that. Your Excellencies and gentlemen, friends, brothers, and sisters, let me first of all apologize for coming late. Ngozi, I miss your points, but of course, since I sat by your side and you whispered into my ears what you said, let me begin by thanking President Mahama for his decision in convening this research, and to salute the African Union, the Rockefeller Foundation, Afro Champions, Georgetown University, and all partners who have made this gathering. And there was some degree of structure. The Cold War, for all its dangers, was governed by certain rules. The multilateral system that succeeded the Cold War, though imperfect, provided avenue for dialogue and compromise. Even when painful, thin, losing credibility. Geopolitical tensions are rising, with fears of a new Cold War dividing the world into camps that undermine cooperation and solidarity. And these collide with threats, pandemics, food insecurity, and issues. At the turn of this century, Africa and several developing countries in Asia and Latin America were drowning in debt. Some countries were spending more on servicing interest payments and debt service than on health and education of their people put together. Along with others, I pressed the case for continent. I pressed the case no continent can grow chained to impossible. Very interesting aspect of the Global Fund that I should tell. When Kofi Annan came to the summit, he suggested the pulse of Nigeria, and I put down $10 million for the Global Fund. President Clinton attended, but he couldn't do much until he invited me, and with $200 million, he launched the Global Fund at the Rose Garden in the White House. On my way from a proof what solidarity could achieve. Maybe I should also add the issue of Ebola. Ebola in 3 West African countries, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and $30 million was raised. And that was used to send AU specialists to the 3 countries that were badly affected by Ebola. Again, solidarity. The lesson is clear. Solidarity is strongest when it is embedded in institutions and mechanisms that endure beyond moods and political cycles. This is why the Accra reset matters, because it calls for a new operating logic. As we heard from the panel, and in fact act out of the box, not just thinking out of the box. It's a centraler. And here we are. I thank both of you for agreeing to be fellow traveler in this new enterprise, if I can. We succeed. And thank you for listening.
Another round of applause. Baba told me a long time ago when I thought he was talking for too long. When you have power, you have the right to speak. I have both. So I would like to invite, moving swiftly along on solidarity messages, and we'll plead that we can make it very brief in 2 minutes, and since very enlightened speakers who have the ability, your remarks, please.
I'm prepared with all of you to lead a campaign to relieve that burden of debt because it is desperately needed. But the option that we now have is to build what we call health sovereignty. African-owned, nationally led, locally delivered healthcare systems, that we build the capacity in Africa not just to produce drugs and to manufacture, and that must be the model for the future in the whole continent. So I want to congratulate all those who've been involved in this, all those who've been part of the original Accra Compact, Mark Dybel, who's done so much here from Rockefeller, all those who are here today. You know, there are many important meetings taking place in New York today, but this is indeed one of the most important, because what you are setting forth is a plan for the future that can transform healthcare in Africa. And I believe it is a measure of the importance of his initiative that we have so many leaders here today, so many leaders supporting this, and so many on video listening to this today. I welcome everything you've done. Just think what we can achieve when we work together. Thank you.
So I have the privilege of putting another leader on the spot who has just come in time to deliver her solidarity remarks. She was originally scheduled to join us on a panel. She is also, together with President Mahama, the lead advocate for reparations on the continent. I will spare her a few minutes as she gets her act together, and I'll invite the CS Cabinet Secretary of Health delivering remarks on behalf of President Ruto. Thank you.
Your Excellency President Mahama, thank you for your visionary leadership in convening us for this bold and timely initiative. Kenya joins you in embracing the Global Presidential Council to drive forward the Accra Health, not as recipients, but as co-authors of a new era in health sovereignty and resilience. On behalf of President William Ruto, I bring greetings from Kenya and reaffirm our unwavering commitment to global solidarity, equity, and innovation in health under the primary health care. Our approach is guided by a simple truth. Universal health coverage is not a slogan. It is a sovereign obligation. From the remotest community to our referral hospitals, we are building a system that is inclusive, efficient, and digitally powered. Yet health does not exist in a vacuum. Climate change is today's most pervasive health threat, driving hunger, disease, migration, and loss of livelihoods. Kenya supports urgent integration of climate resilience into health planning, from early warning system to green infrastructure. It bends through the courage of those who dare to imagine a different future and the tenacity to build it. On behalf of the President of Kenya, I reaffirm our full support to this Council. Let this be the beginning of a new chapter where Africa leads and the world listens. I thank you.
We have messages from Brazil, Indonesia, but since we have Caribbean in person, would invite Her Excellency Mia Motley to leave a very, very brief remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, President of Ghana, Baba, my senior, who has caused me to be here, and he summoned and I appear. Prime Minister Brown, distinguished guests all, let me say that the awareness with respect to antimicrobial resistance, which is a big fancy set of words for basically working out how we're going to fight infections and whether the antibiotics and the medication that we're using is effective in fighting medication, because it is now responsible for the third largest number of deaths globally. And last year at the UN, we agreed to the political declaration, which at the very least should see a reduction in deaths by at least 10% by the year 2030. There is no issue that has the capacity to bind our people and our governments more than cooperation in healthcare. And I give you those three examples to show you that this is where the rubber hits the road. We were elected to do, to make a difference to our people. Thank you.
Mr. President, I believe you have a hard stop at some point, but given that there's such an outpour of solidarity messaging requests, but also there are very amazing people in this room that are so assuming that some of them have been hiding. I thought I should use just 1 minute to acknowledge some of them who are doing amazing work and who hopefully we might be able to persuade to join your College of Advisors. So I see Dr. Senait Fiseha, who is hiding behind you. She's the head of global programs for Buffett Foundation, doing extremely amazing work in sexual and reproductive health inequities. I do recall seeing Peter Sands. Is he still here? Peter, do you want to stand? We'll send a mic to you and say a few words. Well, let's start with Senate.
Thank you, Excellency. It's fantastic to be here. I'm sorry I missed the Accra meeting, but it's just so extraordinary to see our continent taking leadership. I sound like a broken record because prior to the recent events of turn of events in global development, I have been calling and pleading and begging the development landscape. I see Bruce right across, and he and I have spent a lot of times during ANGA saying this needs to change. Africa cannot just continue to beg. So to see this paradigm, I know we're being forced to deal with this, but I think out of this is going to be born a time where we not only say the mantra going around continental leadership, Africa first, but actually our leaders' action will actually meet their words, and there will be accountability, and there's no shortage of talent in the continent, but it's opportunity that we lack. So hearing from Mia, the work we've done through HEDPAC, bringing Africa and the Caribbean together, I really do see an incredible bright future and possibility, and stand in solidarity to absolutely support this initiative. Thank you.
1 minute, and then this Gavi still here, Dr. Nishta? Okay.
Thank you, and my thanks to His Excellency for convening us. The Global Fund has been privileged to be a partner to Africa in the fight to improve health for the last 23 years. For most countries in the continent, we are the largest multilateral provider of external funding for health, and we're extraordinarily proud of the work we've done together to reduce mortality, to save lives, to strengthen health systems. As His Excellency President Obasanjo said, the Global Fund is a very powerful demonstration of solidarity in action. The imperative to accelerate progress towards fully nationally led, nationally owned systems for health, no longer reliant on external support, is absolutely clear. But this is a journey. It's not a switch. Too abrupt a transition will derail progress, will leave people behind, will cost lives. We see our role as the Global Fund as being a trusted partner on this journey, an enabler, a supporter, but ultimately a friend that knows when to get out of the way. To play this role, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't remind you that we too need resources. We are in the process of our 8th replenishment. His Excellency President Ramaphosa and Prime Minister Starmer are co-hosting this replenishment, which will culminate on the 21st of November on the eve of the G20 summit. It's important to note, replenishing the Global Fund is not about perpetuating the old model. It's providing a bridge to the new. It's a rung on the reset. So we applaud the reset. We're committed to playing our part in making it happen. Thank you.
And Accra Reset will send you a check for free advertising. We'd like to invite, on behalf of ministers, Mr. Pate, and then Gavi, and then now we will invite the president. What we've decided to do now is we'll no longer have a part 2. We'll unpack that in another configuration. We'll just focus on the solidarity remarks that speak by the president. Mr. President, you also have your constituency here. The Alliance of African Multilateral Financial Institutions are here. So we might be able to, they are willing to make pledges about resources. There's a Confederation of India Industries also, their president is here, and they all want to support this global initiative and commit resources in pledges. So, Pate, we're going to just take 1 minute. You can look at the clock, and when it goes on 1 minute...
That'll be 30 seconds. Your Excellency, Mr. President, John Mahama, Baba, President Obasanjo, Prime Minister Motley, Prime Minister Gordon Brown, other excellencies and honorable ministers. I think for us as ministers from the African continent, but also from countries that are friends of Africa across the Caribbean, Latin America, Asia, all over the world. I think this is welcome. This leadership demonstrated by President Mahama and all our heads of state is really wonderful. And for us, we take our marching orders. The work starts at home. We work in solidarity. We work hand in hand. We work to deliver with the resources that are available. And we thank Prime Minister Gordon Brown on the debt issue, because that relieves at least some of the fiscal challenges that many of our countries are facing. For us ministers and all our executives, we'll just take it forward. The private sector is also here. Let's join in. I think this leadership is amazing. It's transformational, and we thank you, our leaders, and we'll just move on and get it done. Thank you.
Nados, can you stand so everybody can see you? We have Nados also in the house. We're not going to give her the mic, otherwise she would. So Nados is the Chief Executive of Outer NEPAD. Nados, thanks for coming. And so now I'll move to Gavi, Dr. Nishta.
Good evening, everyone. Your Excellency, President John Mahama, and your colleagues who have supported you in this initiative. I just want to say that at Gavi, we are extremely supportive of the Accra Reset initiative, because this is very opportune, it's needed, it's timely. We are at a moment in the history of international development where we risk a disorderly collapse of what has been structured over the last several decades. And we as an individual entities are downsizing, we are reshaping, we are streamlining, but there is lack of an overarching initiative to bring us all together. So there's clearly a need to set objectives, be clear about the scope, define a process, outline the leadership, and define what success would look like. Because this is an unprecedented opportunity, not only to do away with duplication, fragmentation, mission creeps, and overlaps, unnecessary overlaps at the global level. It is also an opportunity to truly create a global health system, not global health institutions, but truly a global health system and an ecosystem which will support national priorities, which will stand behind national plans, and that will truly deliver for disadvantaged populations on the ground. So we want to thank you for bringing us all together. And at Gavi, we want to commend you for this effort. And I just want to reiterate that we're very supportive of it.
So as I bring the president to give the keynote, I'd like a few people to just stand quickly. Is Jeffrey Stark still here, or did he leave? Okay, he's gone, okay. Ike gone? Ike is still here. So Ike, would you be gracious enough to stand? Where's Confederation of India? Is Babajide still here from AMFI? AMFI is the Alliance of African Multilateral Financial Institutions. So can we put a mic to your to tell us how much you're going to invest very quickly in opportunities that are being created by Accra Reset? Because we can't depend on loans and aid anymore. So what are you willing to invest?
Your Excellencies, particularly our co-conveners, President Mahama and past President Obasanjo. The spirit and soul of humanity is solidarity. And as an African, I am so proud to feel the power, the energy in this room coming from the private sector, the public sector, the North, the South, indeed, almost literally all stakeholders are well represented here, even though I want more of the voice of the youth to also be represented in this journey. There is one thing that financial institutions do, and that is they do not act on the spur of the moment. I did notice that when President Obasanjo was speaking of the 4 challenges, he said climate change. He didn't look at anybody. He said health. He didn't look at anybody. When he said financial contagion, he looked at me. And so, with my risk manager's hat on, I will beg to have the opportunity to consult, of course, with those I must consult with, my board, and so on before I make a pledge. But more importantly, I do take on the responsibility of being your flag bearer and voice in the financial community, because we shall not be coming alone. Thank you for putting me on the spot, but it's actually an honor and privilege. And certainly we will be one of the very serious pledges. God bless.
May I now finally bring His Excellency, allow you to help me present to you as I introduce His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, the African Union Champion for Financial Institutions, to deliver what will be a keynote remarks, but also the closing remarks. And after that, I'll invite my brother Victor to give some remarks, and then we'll have a photo opportunity as well. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Adam has done such a good job introducing everybody, and so I'm not going to acknowledge it. I'll just go straight. I just want to make two quick notes. Tomorrow we have a side event on African financial institutions, and so there's a direct link between what we're doing today and what is going to happen tomorrow. So as many of you who can should join us. I also want to agree with what Peter said, that this is a process, it's not an event. And so we're in for the long haul. And so let us work together in solidarity to see our objectives realized. I'll just read this to put it on record. It's an honor to address you today at this historic gathering. Allow me of development and global solidarity. Only weeks ago in Accra, Ghana, we convened the Africa Health Sovereignty Summit. Leaders from across Africa and the wider world, including Presidents Obasanjo and Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf, the Global Director for the World Health Organization, Tedros, representatives of the African Union, development finance institutions, ministers, business leaders, and civil society joined us to chart a new course. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all who found time to come to Accra and who lent their voices and vision and who helped us launch what is now becoming a global agenda. As African Union Champion for African Financial Institutions, I carry a mandate to help shape the future of our continent's financial architecture. As a continent's advocate for reparations, I am also deeply aware of the failings of the world's moral order. That responsibility is also why I'm passionate about the Accra Reset. For I know that without new governance, business and financing models for development, there can be no sustainable path for health, no resilience for our economies, and no workable future for global solidarity. That summit produced a resounding consensus. The health crisis we face is not only a crisis of disease, vaccines and hospitals, but also a crisis of social and economic inequality. It is a symptom of a deeper malaise in the global development architecture itself. The collapse of the legacy aid system, punishing debt burdens in the global south, and fragmented supply chains are not isolated problems. The evidence that the very logic of global development as we have known it is no longer fit for purpose. From Accra, a message went out to the world. If we are to heal our health systems, we must first reset development itself. Excellencies, we meet here in New York at a time of increasing global uncertainty. Humanity has made progress once unimaginable. In 1990, 36% of the world lived in extreme poverty. By 2019, that figure had fallen to 8%. Global life expectancy has risen by nearly a decade in just one generation. Maternal mortality has declined by a third since the year 2000. In global health, since 2000 alone, more than 50 million lives have been saved through expanded access to vaccines, HIV treatment, and malaria prevention. The Global Fund and Gavi, born out of a new development consensus 2 decades ago, have provided life-saving tools to billions of the world's population. This progress deserves recognition. It reminds us of what becomes possible when global solidarity rises to meet global challenges. And yet, even as we celebrate these gains, the cracks in the global order are growing deeper. The question that agitates our mind is, how do we sustain these gains in the face of current global shifts? The COVID-19 pandemic erased 2 decades of poverty reduction in less than 2 years. Climate change has driven nearly 735 million people back into chronic hunger. Almost one in 10 of the world's population is facing chronic hunger. Developing countries now spend more on servicing external death than they do on healthcare and education combined. Africa's external debt stock alone exceeds $1 trillion in 2023, with debt service consuming nearly 1/5 of government revenues in many African countries. The MDGs and SDGs have been the lodestar of global ambition. The MDGs lifted over 1 billion people out of poverty. The SDGs galvanized unprecedented cooperation. However, the UN's own 2023 report indicates that fewer than half of the 169 SDG targets are on track. In health, in inequality, and in fiscal resilience, the situation is particularly dire. The temptation will be to prepare another catalog of partnership global targeting. ODA is declining, and there's reportedly an overall 40% reduction in worldwide humanitarian assistance. We need to strategize. The world needs a reset, a re-engineering of the very logic of development itself. And this is the vision of the Accra Reset, to rebuild global development around sovereignty, workability, and shared value, to make it possible to co-invest, co-design, and co-create for shared priorities. Health, long the most aid-dependent sector, is our proof of concept. Through the SUSTAIN framework, the 4D innovations platforms such as Panabios, Prosper, and the African Continental Free Trade Area Hub, now augmented by the Health Investment Multiplier and Synergy tools, along with a new global health architecture and governance framework, we're pioneering models that move from dependency to sovereignty. Already more than $1 billion in reset-compatible pledges from African development finance institutions and private banks have been aligned with a new approach through the pooled pledge and deal rooms arrangements. And while we launch this reset today, let us acknowledge that others have already been at work. From President Paul Kagame's leadership under the Lusaka Agenda to the Africa CDC and the African Medicines Agency, proving that sovereignty-led models are not only possible, but practical. Working together, we will not only sustain these gains, but also expand them and utilize them to protect the well-being of our people. But health is only the beginning. Africa is only our starting point. The reset looks beyond today's crisis and identifies new pivots of growth: biodiversity, climate resilience, nutrition, and empowerment economies. These are not only moral imperatives, but trillion-dollar opportunities for inclusive, climate-positive prosperity. The IMF estimates that emerging markets and developing economies will require $2.5 trillion annually in climate finance by 2030. Without new governance, business finance models, these needs will remain unmet. And so we must move from vision to operating models. The reset is anchored on 3 fundamental shifts. The first is a mindset shift. This is needed, recognizing that we live in an era of unpredictability. The post-war multilateral era is being ripped apart. It appears we must prepare for a period of global turbulence. The second is a focus shift, moving from beyond crafting new lists of global goals to building executable business models for coalitions, syndicates, and platforms that deliver. And the third is a reality shift, accepting that diverse, even contradictory interests are now a permanent feature of our system. And turning these very tensions into the fuel for pragmatic cooperation and mutual investment is imperative. This new model demands resource multiplication and not rationing. Instead of limiting resilience, let us multiply it. Instead of setting new spending targets, let us measure the additional value that health, climate resilience, and food security can contribute to the global economy. To give this reset shape, we must launch a new global coalition, a partnership of the willing, the beginnings of a durable club, a presidential council comprising heads of state and government from Africa, Asia, Latin America, and beyond, which will provide political leadership to this movement. A high-level panel drawing from health, finance, innovation, and business will provide intellectual depth and evidence to this exercise. Together, this coalition will apply the operating logic of the reset to help the world rethink global development itself. It will work collaboratively with the United Nations, with regional institutions, and with the private sector to drive global thought leadership, while also serving as a platform to test and refine the new models we're looking at. Health will be our first ground of experimentation, but the lessons learned will be shared across all sectors, from climate resilience to nutrition to empowerment of our economies. In doing so, we'll drive sector strategy labs and pioneer the spirit of workability. We are discussing geostrategic deal rooms to facilitate risk sharing, investment in health, climate, food security, and job creation. But our mission goes further. It will help shape the post-SDG agenda. The world is only 5 years away from 2030. And the question is not simply what new targets should replace the SDGs, but how we design institutions and financing systems that can actually deliver. This means thinking outside the box, about new and innovative financing instruments, about fresh business models, and about smarter coalitions that multiply rather than ration resources. The Presidential Council and the high-level panel will help the world confront big questions. How do we govern in a poly-crisis era, where shocks are a permanent feature of our daily lives? How do we unlock trillions in climate finance without drowning countries in debt? How do we turn sovereignty into a multiplier of value rather than a barrier to cooperation? These are the challenges that the Accra Reset seeks to address, and the eminent minds and hearts gathered here today will be the driving force behind creating designs and executing solutions. I want to take the opportunity to thank the many leaders in Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean, as well as our partners in the West, alongside business leaders, global multilateral institutions who have already welcomed this initiative and are collaborating to make it a success. Their support affirms that the reset is not only African in its origins, but global in its reach and its relevance. It is indeed right that the Global South should take the lead, for it is in our countries that the collapse of the old world model will be felt most acutely. And it is from our innovations that the world can find new answers and solutions. The reset is not a rejection of what has been achieved. It is the next phase of global development. Africa's invitation is to co-create a new operating system for world progress. The last major attempt to reset global development came with the Monterrey Consensus in 2001. For the first time, multilateralism formally shifted from a paternalistic approach to a partnership-based one. Health was at the forefront of this effort. Faced with HIV/AIDS crisis, African leaders like Kofi Annan and Olusegun Obasanjo galvanized the world. Their leadership produced enduring institutions such as the Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria, and Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, which were designed to embody the Monterrey principles in their governance and implementation. Much good was achieved and millions of lives were saved. The world again faces a choice, a crisis or reset. And just as Montero sought to re-engineer development 25 years ago, today's fragility calls for a new vision of global multilateralism. Health is once again at the forefront of this transformation, like it was then. It is the sector that is most exposed to the failures of aid dependency, but also the sector best positioned to provide sovereignty-led models that can succeed. We call on governments, innovators, financiers, and civil society to join this movement, to move from catalogs of need to engines of value creation, to redeem the promise of development for the post-SDG era. In conclusion, history will ask whether this generation, in the face of crisis, rose to the occasion. And I believe that we can summon the same courage that people like Kofi Annan and Olusegun Obasanjo and other world leaders mustered when they mobilized the world against HIV and AIDS. And so let us channel that same spirit today, not only for health, but for financing and strategizing development itself in a fractured but yet still interdependent world. Let this be a positive turning point where we rise as partners and take our destiny into our own hands for the present and future generations of the world. I thank you.
One more round of applause. I guess we don't need any more things to say. There's nothing else to be said. We have our marching orders. And so I'd like to invite my brother Victor to sort of give us the next steps. But in doing that, I'd like to also thank and acknowledge the governor of Bayelsa State and Senator Donyedri, governor of Bayelsa State, and Senator Sunday Mashak Kutunde, who have been here with us from the beginning, and all the amazing friends and colleagues who have all come to give us support. Thank you very much. We also have a report of the Accra Compact that is available, so if you don't have a copy, please grab a copy. Thank you very much, Ebere.
Thank you very much, Adam. Your Excellency, President Mahama, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, my task is very simple. As Adam said, a lot has been said already, so I will not belabor the point. Just wanted to say that it's an honor to close this gathering with deep appreciation for your reflections, your thoughts, and your commitments. Only weeks ago in Accra, leaders from across Africa and the world joined to affirm sovereignty as the foundation of health and development. Today in New York, we have carried that message forward. Our task is now very clear. The Accra Reset challenges us to do three things. Number one, to sustain the gains by rooting reforms in national systems and accountable budgets. Number two, to defend the gains by reshaping global governance so Africa and the Global South help design, not just receive solutions. And number three, to grow the gains through innovation and evidence-based solutions that multiply impact. Your Excellency, today you've also spoken about and launched the Presidential Council and the high-level panel, new platforms to transform vision into delivery, ensuring leadership, accountability, and shared responsibility. Excellencies, the reset is not just another declaration. It is Africa's invitation to co-create a workable system for global solidarity. Its credibility will be measured not by promises but by proof in financing, in governance, and in the lives of our people. Let us leave this room determined to build a future that is sovereign, workable, and accountable. I want us to reflect on a few things that His Excellency the President said and some quotes from Accra as we bring this to a close. Your Excellency, you talked about the 3 bits of the revolution: the mindset shift, the focus shift, and the reality shift. I also wanted to remind us of 3 quotes that came out of Accra. And I'll quote El Haj C, who in Accra said that too many promises have been made, too many promises have been broken. Let us not break any more promises. I want to quote my brother, Ahmed, you know I would come to you, Ogwell. He said, what went on in Accra must not stay in Accra. And I want to say, what has gone on in New York must not stay in New York. And finally, I think Dr. Tedros also said something very profound in Accra. He said, the difference between crisis and opportunity is leadership. Your Excellency, you've shown remarkable leadership. And we hope that this will not be the end. This will be the marching orders for us to do something even greater for our countries and for the world. Thank you all very much.
So now to the photo opportunity. So we'd like to, as they clear the place for us to take the photos. The photos are going to be first the president and the conveners and former presidents. Then we'll have the president with ministers, and then with partners, and then with all of us. Okay, so it's going to be very quick. Mr. President, there was come with me. As we are getting the place organized, Shusita, Mr. President, I was told that we were, yeah. Are we ready? Yeah. So, Prof, do you want to call? Nados, the co-conveners and partners from Accra, did Gordon Brown leave? Okay. All right. Okay, Naveen? Yeah. Mark? Okay. Peter Sands, yes. Global Fund was a partner in Accra as well. Okay. And Mr. Gavi? Magda? Yes, John? Yes. No.
Finally, my champ is going back to school. This is when they need nourishment and energy the most. Because they use a lot of energy reading, learning, playing, and giving their best. Get your kids ready for school with the goodness of Milo and our special edition tins. Milo, energy to go further. Milo!
Does it look like me?
Yes.
Do we look alike?
Mother knows the biological father of a child.
Oh, okay.
Life's questions can be tough, but the answers don't have to be. At Blueprint DNA, we provide accurate paternity and DNA testing, giving you the clarity and peace of mind you deserve.
Whether it's for legal matters, travel, or simply finding out the truth, we are here to guide you in every step of the way.
Visit us at blueprintdna.org or call our consultants today on 0547 113 957.
Blueprint DNA,
your trusted experts in paternity and DNA testing. We are available nationwide.
We have all our partners now. Partners join.
When I think about how I divide my time, it's very carefully. I'm Alex Diaz. I'm a professional marketer in Seattle. I volunteer with Key to Change. It's a nonprofit focused on music education for underserved communities. There are moments where I'm trying to write a message to a coworker that I don't realize is not fully baked out. You know, I find that I think faster than I type, and strategic suggestions prompt will pop up and it'll say, actually, here are some of the key points you should emphasize. Here's how we think you should emphasize it. It honestly saves me time, and I know it's my best work. Thinking about communication can be exhausting. Sometimes you find yourself hitting a wall. And I love AI Compose because you write your intention and automatically this paragraph comes out that you can play with. It is honestly like magic. Grammarly will give you confidence that whatever message you're trying to send comes across as you intend. Download Grammarly for free.
The Nido Obatampa promo is back again. Yes, here's your chance to win a fully paid family getaway in Nido's Obatampa More promo. Look inside your Nido 23-gram promo sachet for a code. Dial *380*11# on your phone's keypad and follow the prompts to win exciting prizes at Tipashimu. Nido, your love, their future. This advert is FDA approved. This promo is regulated on the Caritas Lottery platform. T's and C's apply.
Yes, I stop you. I'm yogurt in the back. Yogurt back. What's your one? It's here. The friend at school. At school. Where is my baby? She said, I mean, you money. He said, yogurt in a percent of time. The person you feed it on back. Nimbe de at home. I don't know, nice boy, and after so con yogurt. Someone so young, man. The book with Bago coming. We shall see at it. And said, Auntie, you used to run a message. What was it? Yes, I'm fine. Ma'am, I didn't my to be like I didn't. Of any, may bomb you would do why. Also, what was about back? I'm going to be a minute now. And I shall set you. I shall go. And I'll buy I want to show me go. Sa Bram house or down on Omnibio. Scano. Only Mumu. Oh, Mitty. I don't know. You see, the air is going to go to any brew. It's more, yeah, you cry, Betty. And I'm not. You are only at some my number. Okay, Martin. Yeah, fine. Yes, fine. Another old to sorrow from. I was own one day, again on one. I mean, I would not say you got to run me to be not putting me out. I said, yes, I told another much of them. We are Coco. Any funny view to go and say, wow, who tell me now and tell you your dinner home to wear. Now, I'm a woman, and I'm the look last one. Evina, okay, to wear, they say, you look out to wear. Now, the Macato was a nation. Ah,
Mama, national move down if you look at it. Yeah, one more. Ah, when near sunshine, I want it.
They are to go. Me to go.
Yeah, to go and 5. You want? Because we can move this fridge. I don't know they have here.
Oh, this is fridge. What's about 5?
Can you try to know why? But who are they now?
When you more this now, we are my cassette here. I mean, cassette here. Share. Mammy, scared. I mean, no fear, no. Me, so much in this one. It's a way up at the end. I'm so much up at the end. Why? Will be any dinner to my film. Why?
What the hell?
What the name of Bemba took Gotham? Opening from Sika and I'm in corner.
So, what do you want?
I
think I could get a little.
Hello.
It's quite nice.
What a sweet baby.
Thank you.
No, for Papa.
Thank you.
Hey, wait, I'm your body. It's a more from you, sweet.
Oh, thank you.
What area, Mona?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Then I know. You have a safety look. Now, bro, you are Daniana. What's up there?
Fine
nice. And you?
Do you have pina colada?
Pina colada? Yeah. Nah, I don't have. It's only yogurt and fan choco and
do that pina colada.
Huh? Never come to Okabi.
Let me just have pina colada.
I don't like it. It's very nice.
Fish, you said?
Fandango.
And you?
Nice.
Okay.
You want how many? One. Why are you going to buy 2? I buy 2. No, one. I want 3. Why? Please just give her 1.
Hello. Are you Farmer Peter and I'm not in Casa? Farmer washing this for my bone soup for no more woman. Bye.
I don't know, we know a book with the
No,
oh, come up, I made it to see Anna.
New Colgate Herbal with Salt combines traditional nature's herbs with a pinch of salt and Colgate science. A natural recipe for strong teeth and healthy gums.
Win a trip to Disneyland Paris in the Indomitables Hero Park promo.
Sisia, I'm here. She hot like hot water. Oh, it's hot. How much is it? Wait 5 cedi.
Oh, no.
You're going to pay? Oh, thank you. Can I get? I want the card.
Obi be chairman and the occupy. And one say, "Bra, me miss can do better for account." Oh, Emma, about the package here more too much. Usi canso, and also bra usi canso. I feel now better about me both float and then the end.
Please, she said she wants 3. Give it to her.
I saw me a sound. Both float to one.
No, this. Sweet bar.
The sweet bar.
Yeah.
A 3.
No.
Sweet bar.
Right now, I'm moving on the time.
Yeah.
Come on, return and pack.
Wow. Where African word though? You see at Accra,
I say return and pack.
You know what you know?
Hi. I'm Kira.
Hey.
What's the name?
Benita.
And they'll bed you.
What's
Benita, they'll bed you.
I'm Regina.
How you did now? They are told.
Oh, you married?
No.
Hi.
Hey, play with Sky. Okay, I want to know crowd. Where's the flat and the first place? What's a Nipa there? What's a Nipa? Only not to be fair enough. And then here. Oh, Scapa, won't you know? If you play the better.
Where did you park your car? We are going this way.
I park this way.
So can we join you?
Hey, what's the mini bar?
Yeah,
hello. One pass is going to money $7,000.
Hey! But it's kind of a $7,000.
Please, should we wait for you?
You are a minister.
The same.
You got.
I want this. Can you add one to it?
Oh, yes.
Please take my number, then you go. I'll call you, okay? I'll go some meeting. 30 for it.
Alright.
But you don't give my number anyway.
Alright, sure.
But you're not catching up on the way. Don't give my number anybody here.
To anybody. Yeah. Alright. Bye. Bye.
Hi, madam. Sorry.
Hi. Oh, stop up. You're back for a while.
Hello, Fofi. Are you my short to send me? You take on away. Fofi, Miss my short to send me 50 Ghana.
Okay,
are you a Kosama? I'm in a concrete and not what you
I'm in packaging.
And can I wait and
no crack? No crack. And you, mammy, and that. It's been sending 42 cities. Okay. May I do more? Meet me now, 42. You know, you got to be a union, and I'm here by to buy not some 42 cities.
Someone, the sun share that kind of feeling. How would you give up? Another Ghanaian sometimes who pay packaging now going time. I don't know.
And then it's out of the way in the Sicilian, you'll be able to be able
Dimechi.
But I say we know, when the my brochure never go, but when there you'll be a human. It's what I'm we say, Okana, I never found what today. Okana, I found what you knew was Okana. Well, I won't want to have Uncle Group. I'm baby or the Nana, I don't know why you know. Show. Could have been in the bowl.
In this facility, we can recycle every part that make up the beverage cartons. The paper fibers are made into napkins, toilet paper, kitchen rolls. Polyethylene and aluminium stay together, and we call it polyol. These polyol granules goes to other companies to be transformed into new pallets.
This pallet is now used by the biggest retailer in Italy, and further collaboration with Lookout and our partners could help expand this.
Maybe will you eat? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But you did it now. But you are career down. Your wife.
Wife.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Wife no one.
I mean, what's your name?
Yapping good.
Yapping
good.
Hey.
Please, we are buying something. And you have no baby TV in say.
Open you and found money soon. My dear, no, but not in the car. Sorry, when you have bridge over. No, if I can need it now. Anyway, you did the amount of the daddy or church and go to bridge over for room. I can go public. But our wife will need let's leave her. Many not know party of 4 pounds. That's on your crowd. Are we any friends? Or one yakra? Are we any friends? Mommy, how old are you?
75.
Yeah, 75 from so I'm back. Maybe I'll tell you. I'll tell say gas. Now, who says that the NF? Who saw the Opera? You got.
I quite an animal giant papa.
During she are
I think more meat pie. Yeah.
I need maybe what? I don't know anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I said anything.
Anything. Buy flute. Buy flute. I don't want to.
But your mother quite put on you. Miss Ramon, why? Move to 7:30 and why? Okay.
I don't know. Okay. I can see you, Massa. Okay, for your crown, I'll call you both for the Chinese. Buy a I don't know. Or reaching them cross over me.
Met me out.
What is
now only my catch you.
know.
My first born. Mamma come was a simple show.
Yeah.
Well, oh, to a diamond, Najao, when I am. Now, to a diamond, black rubber.
Because I want to do it.
Patch on my mountain.
Massa. Obedient and in the Casa and what it. I mean, now also when it is on and I'm all here.
I don't hear playful. Allow me a papa.
I'm not papa.
I do one on
oh, no one, papa.
Huh? And what's the man to what they will come here?
Also, your Betty Abo. Oh, I have pressed baby. If I chose because you see 15 cities.
Money in the phone,
so when I'm from a bonny uncle,
but it's time to meet what to tell me what. Who are the one get time?
Then answer the bracket open. But at 12, 15 cities. You say 15. Coco, you got a night. I change it.
And I may hear you. And I say, it's a compliment.
I won't in the damp password over. But no, mommy, you can't say who to give. And you put a dear for now pay. Hey, now I mean, who did you have? Oh, yeah, I wouldn't go there. Obama Crown Sunshine. Obama's one. Obama Crown. That's a gun I buy to me. That's what I told me. The way I say offense.
As a comfort, manufacturing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Share. Keep the change. Just why, Papa? Share. Share. No, so. What's the more offensive?
Hey! Over there. Make us.
Brain in Wisconsin. Brain is
how much?
Brain is can you?
I say, make a double.
On says you can need them mura. I say you can need them mura.
How come for? Yeah. Now Benjamin.
Share.
Also no the other one no chance no somewhere no.
Now I be on.
And I friend ni e dia kunya.
Ya be we no mo sade ye citron. Aka be citron e bofom. O to bofom say
citron.
You kwa toilet ni kwa mu giniska. Akwa na na pa de afu.
Omo bi keten.
Shida. Abani. O jonga ngomba fe na
kankani. Eguntu pa.
Eguntu bedi. Na make unya control abitu.
Control di obi and bia to bia. Ufie.
Metie ya enko.
Abani scan dey want to one farm me meet me two adene samples. Abani dey bio. Scan it.
She ade
me sika dey. O say djuma na me 7 million.
When you write, your tone influences how readers respond. With Grammarly, just highlight your text and type how you want to sound. Get your message right every time. Download it for free at Grammarly.com.
Mami unipa baya woye. Mr. Man.
Di mechi.
Mami unipa baya woye na se me di wachi ana.
Di mechi.
Yeah, fine. I mean, now we are this logo, and I wouldn't move your point.
Are you why not much a chain aboard? When you're going to make the back with back. I'm saying, Monchi me and Sandy Mohammed, you're back with Brown busy.
Penny, you scan a mammy now. You see, can a mammy.
Almost as I know.
Open you what to talk about what yogurt. Guess beach and one more did you? Man about that officer no my son no more. Open you down the betting and it's me. Me sad am yale about that me I won't go.
Confused. Who brother are you want to?
Me sad am yale. Eh. Me sad am yale masa.
Sir, and I'm on Junction so I won't fan. Ah. Kila wa bodam na jano oni.
Open you down the betting and to me do Yakopon. What about them so about obi about na wo timi e di yogurt. E di meat pie. Masa, me de buo no be crash. Me de buo no be crash.